Greetings, gamers. Devang here, coming at you with an unboxing video for Shadows of Brimstone Adventures Warlord Pledge. So I'm going to apologize right now for potentially the quality of the video. I am doing this on my cell phone since I can't seem to find my camera. We just moved houses recently, so it's packed somewhere. And not where I thought it was, apparently, so I need to keep looking for it, which I will do so, because I do plan and hope to have some series beginning, one for the Vikings and one for the Conquistadors. I don't know exactly if I'm going to do them kind of concurrently and alternate, or if I'll just run one and then run another. We'll see. Feel free to post in the comments. Let me know kind of how you would want that to happen. If you want me to do, sort of alternating weeks and run both concurrently, or if you want me to do one and complete one and then do another. I do plan on using all 4 of the heroes, and it won't just be one hero. That way we can see what all of the heroes do. So, all right. So let's take a look. Okay, folks. So I'm going to try to do these. I'll probably do them in sort of in large to small order to get some sort of sense of order. I will try to either put YouTube stops in or timestamps in the description for the different sections, different pieces that I'm going to be taking a look at and opening. It shouldn't take too long, though. Let's go ahead and start with the Gates of Valhalla, which is the Vikings. If I can do this one-handed. There we go. All right. We got in here. Okay. Again. Lots of figures for everything. Not going to go through each individual sprue. Just know that there's a lot of figures in here. Ooh, a very nice and improved how to put together the different. So Jarl, Raider, Huskarl, and Berserker, the Centurions, the Viking Warriors, the Gremlins, and then on the back side, the Trolls, the Librarians, and the Frost Giant. So very nice directions on how to put the models together. I have to find my glue too, some new glue. All right, again, you get your standard decks of cards. Map deck, and obviously the tray, which will probably not remain since we've got a whole bunch of stuff once everything's put together. All right, another deck of cards, the world cards. All right, so we've got the adventure book, pretty hefty in here. Sorry. This way. Okay. Pretty nice. I always love their artwork. So kudos to them. Alright, so what have we got here as far as probably your standard 5 Ancient Archive, Mission 6, Mission 7, 9 missions, so we got 8. So it looks like there are 8 missions, and then some stories behind them. Background, so looks like 6 are, and then 6 basic missions that are different. Interesting. Right. Yeah. So okay. So they got 6 basic missions, which are basically similar missions. Looks like similar missions to the other core set Brimstone missions, and then obviously these are special ones, specific. Interesting. And so because it says just replace any reference to the mines with whatever world you're on. Okay. Talks about leveling up your heroes to level 8. Okay. Vikings, Team Hero Viking, and upgrade chart. Playing a Viking hero. Talks about your expedition camp. What else have we got? End of the day. Camp being upgraded. Forging of the Darkstone. Pictures, overview of the various enemies, history of the Norselands, talk about the Targa library, again, great art, painting guide, always handy, okay, Viking camp events, mutation chart, per usual, glossary, FAQ and clarifications, the character sheets, and campaign log. There we go. Alright, so that is what is in the adventure book. Okay, and then we have a rule book. Again, fairly thick. I'm not sure what's different in here between them. Talks about town expansions, so combining sets for the game system, optional rules such as like fixed move, advanced encounters, frost giant mythic abilities, the hardcore mode, etc. Rules for Viking warrior allies, campaign play. I'll have to read through these and see what's different, if there's anything specifically different. Obviously, they have, here are the Gates of Valhalla enemies. So they talk specifically about the enemies and what the enemies do. But we'll have to see if any of these rules come out as different. I'll have to read through and see if any of those are different from the standard Brimstone. Okay. And here's the little camp card for the Viking camp, and there's your depth event chart. Okay, nice. Some other Viking camp document. Okay, for staying in the Viking camp, camp hazard, a library knowledge. Heroes have one or more library knowledges in the campaign log the first time during an adventure. Roll D8 on the library knowledge chart, adding +1 for every library knowledge. Interesting. Okay. Expedition supplies. So basically, obviously buying stuff. This is sort of like the town, the basic town for buying stuff. And what you can do. Cool. Cheap. Campfire. Again, things you can do. Things for the campfire. The Viking healer. You can get the healer. Not going to go over those two to the full. Injury chart. And the madness chart. Be interesting to see if any of these are different from the core sets. Trade cart. Again, more kind of camp stuff. And the forge. I'll go through all this. Let's go. Alright. And then you've got the enemy cards. So the Archive Towers, Centurions, Frost Giant, Gremlins, the Target Librarian, more tentacles, can't have too many tentacles, and the Trolls. Alright, and then we've got the, got the Vikings. So you've got the Jarl, male and female sides. Okay, got the Raider, male and female. Got the Berserker, male and female, and the Huskarl. Alright, there you go. So that is basically it. We've got a few more little things here. We've got the Viking warrior ally, I'm assuming. Yep. Little card for them, which is nice. And then Viking warrior upgrade card for them as well. Excellent. Alright, folks, here is Valley of the Serpent Kings. So I'm just going to open up this box. Take a peek. Should be pretty similar to the other one, obviously. So again, cards. Lots of figures to put together. Should be fun. Okay. Alright, so again, we got this really nice, and I think this is a pretty good improvement over what came with the core Brimstone. Really nice detailed. This is a pretty sturdy assembly guide cardstock. Alright. Again, adventure book, which talks about the missions. So, Lost Contact, Lair of the Croxen, Touched by Darkness, Into the Valley of the Kings, Temple Raid at 5. 6 is Run Through the Devil. That's Temple Raid is pretty long. Lots of rules. 3 pages for that. Just FYI. 6, and then 7 is Under Siege, and 8 is Call to War. So some pretty big ones, and then talking about the story and regular basic missions that you can run. Again, talking about the 6 basic missions that you can do as well, and then it talks about leveling up, and then your Conquistador team and the Conquistador upgrade. Talks about the expedition camp, rules for the camp, and upgrading the camp. Some art and pictures of the different models put together. Very nice. Talks about the Spanish fort. Okay, and the Swamps of Dragano, Valley of the Serpent Kings. Again, some great art and backstory. Painting guide. All very nice. Conquistador events, camp events, daily events. And D66, mutation chart. Wonder if the mutations are probably the same. And then glossary, and then the Conquistador, and the campaign log for the Conquistadors. Very nice. Again, pretty hefty size book. Lots of goodness in there. And the rule book should be, I'm thinking, essentially the same. There's probably a couple different, might be a couple different things because it probably has references to specific enemies. Yeah, the carnivorous plants and the Croxen beasts. But the rest of the, for the majority of it, the rules, since they're all interchangeable, the rules should all be the same. All right, we got the Conquistador camp. There's a depth event on the other side. More conquistador event, camp event stuff with an inner halls of what, the fort? Interesting. Okay. Campfire. These should all be pretty similar, obviously slightly different items and things that can happen. So it'd be interesting to see the difference between the Viking camp and the expedition camp, right? And then there's the anchored ship that they came in on of. It'll be interesting to see the difference between what you can do in the two of those. Injury and madness chart should be the same. Spanish armory, again, they should be pretty much the same, in essence of what they do, but the specifics, and we'll see what those specifics are when we're playing. All right, and then you've got the carnivorous plants, you got the creeping shadows, got the Croxen Beast. Very excited for the Croxen Beast. Drowned Dead, Born Dead, Serpent Men Archers, Temple Guard, Tentacles. Always gotta have tentacles. All right. Then you've got the Duelist. Some great artwork. Get the El Capitan and the La Capitan. Got the Explorer. And the Soldier. Okay, well armored folks. Again, you've got a Conquistador Footman, Conquistador and Footman upgrades cards. And I probably didn't mention, there were obviously dice. The Vikings had a blue 8-sided die. There's a green one for the Conquistadors to match the jungle theme. All right. And that is what we get in the Valley of the Serpent Kings. Okay, folks. Next, we have the Trederran Strike Team expansion. All right. Nice. Okay. So we have an adventure book. Still pretty thick. Not gonna lie. New tokens. It talks about a bunch of different tokens. Not all of them are new, but some of them are. Flame template and such. Trederran Expeditionary Imperative. Lots of lore text, which is pretty cool. And then talks about the Trederran Strike Team Heroes. The Sergeant, the Legionnaire, the Specialist, and the Engineer. Okay, new rules, talks about weapons of war, adversary threats, story campaign. All right, so playing missions multiple times, missions, all right, Darkstone Raid, new foothold, gas warfare, and that's a couple pages. Lost Signal, that's a couple pages. Scorched Earth, single one. Cut Off, single one. Wetworks, that is a couple pages. And Delivering Doomsday, which sounds pretty ominous. All right, and then again talks about basic missions, using basic missions with the Trederran Strike Team. And then tank missions. Yeah, bonus tank missions. Running interference. Okay. Armor recovery. Just looks like just those two. All right, and then it talks about the camp for them and upgrading the camp and upgrades. You know, we've seen all these. Not going to be too different. And then talks about the heroes and the upgrade chart, daily events chart. I'm not gonna go too far into that. FAQ and clarifications. All right, and then the Strike Team character sheets and the campaign log. Yep. All right. Okay, a whole bunch of new tokens. Not all of them are new, but a bunch of them are new. A bunch of tokens. And tokens for other Trederrans that you might fight, I'm guessing. Or summon, I don't know what that is. Okay, you've got your 4 hero figures, I'm assuming. Okay. Pack of cards for more Trederran threats. Okay. Trench Soldier there. Grenadiers. Got it. Raiders. Okay. Mutants. Okay. Each of those. Alright. Here we go. Enemies. Trederran Engineer. Trederran Legionnaire. Or sorry, heroes, I should say. Trederran Sergeant. Trederran Specialist. And then some enemies. The actual Trederran strike team as an enemy. On the brutal side. Cool. And then obviously, as we've seen in the previous 2, we have the Trederran camp. Kind of a cool thing of the camp, the field hospital, the expedition supplies, and the campfire. And then 2 other things that are locked. Right. Field hospital, expedition supplies. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on these. They're pretty similar. The War Depot, okay, that's one of the ones that you can unlock. Right? And then the command post, again. I'm assuming possibly you build it. All right, and then, okay, this isn't a separate one. This is actually on the bottom of the box. So this doesn't come out. I don't think. Does it? No. It's actually part of that insert. You could probably, the way it's set up, you could probably just cut it along the 2 sides and then have it if you needed to keep it separate. Not a big deal, I don't think. You really only need it the one time when you put them together for the first time. So, all right, there you have it. That is the Trederran strike team. All right, folks, BAKS1. Okay, so this is sort of expansion stuff. All right, what do we got in here? All right. Change hands here. Let's see, some sort of insert thing going on. Sorry about this. All right, so it's got this weird bent thing to help, I guess, keep everything stable in there. Oh, all right. Goodness. All right, so thing of counters, summoning counters for summoning. All right, threat cards, and looks like threat cards and some artifacts. All right, we have an insert for the Tron assembly guide for the Tron Gladiators, and some notes. We've seen these before in other packs. All right, and then for the Crimson Hand Acolytes. Okay, Tron Gladiators and the Acolytes. Perfect. And then, yeah, just a bunch of, it's an enemy expansion, right? It's got more figures and cards. Again, we saw this had a bunch of different cards. I'll have to figure out. I will probably include some of these. Not sure which ones. Well, definitely things like, hey, you know, the Norse lands artifacts are going to go in with the Gates of Valhalla when I play it. So definitely all the specific Conquistador Viking expansion stuff I will include in the playthrough. I don't know about enemies. Like, I'd like to do the Dark Acolytes, but I may save that for a different run through, as opposed to throwing them in with the standard gameplay. All right, but that is it for BAKS1. We're about halfway through now. So we've got the big thing for the BAKS2, which has all the more miniatures and stuff, and then we got the smaller packs there. All right, folks, BAKS2 and the miniatures. For the miniatures, I mean, it's just miniatures, right? So it is chock full. This whole box is chock full of miniatures, but there's not really anything to see except for the miniatures. And I'm not going to go and show each individual sprue. I can if you guys want, if you guys ask for it, but otherwise I'm not going to bother. But I could do a separate video of just the miniatures sprues outside of the packaging if that is something you guys want. Otherwise, you'll see them in gameplay or once I get them put together, right? All right. Warlord Pledge card brick C. For the following Kickstarter stretch goals. All right. Pretty cool. All right. Yep. Big old brick. Serpent King and 1 threat. Nice. All right. All right, so again, we've got some more counters. Rage. Yeah, it's four small flats. Lots of cards. So Fenris Wolf, Brick B, Brick D. Cool. There should be a Brick A in there somewhere. It hasn't dumped out yet. But there we go. Should be Brick A. Raiding Gear, Tools of Conquest, Targa Artifact Pack, Jargano Artifact Pack, Flames of Ragnarok Supplement. Excellent. All right, and then enemy cards. Let me flip these bad boys over. I think that's all. Yep. All right. So let's take a peek at these bad boys really quick. So we got the Draugr. We've got the Dread Inquisitors. Oh, geez, they're gonna make me pronounce this. Feljaeger Slayers. I apologize for any Nordic folks. My pronunciation. Fenris Wolves. Harvester Drill Teams. Yeah, the Big Daddies. Those who have the Bioshock reference. The Hell Bear. Yes. Why is there something about like all of the really cool big enemies? They just are just so amazing. Hellborn Mortars always get me excited to fight and play against, even though I know they're going to be pretty hard to beat. All right, the Lumia Vampires. We've got the Shadow Lurkers. Got the Swamp Stingers, some more little flying bugs. The Venom Strike Ballista, so the Serpent men get a Ballista. Ooh. Okay, we've got the Conquistadors as enemies. So rival Conquistadors. Archive Guardian. Ooh, so it's one of the Sentinels for Targa, all beefed up with the big friggin', Ed. What is it, Ed 209 or whatever? People will get that reference. Samurai Warrior Party, War Party. So throw a little bit of Forbidden Fortress in there. Viking Raiding Party. Frontier Posse, hey. Again, as enemies. And then a Children of the Mountain. So kind of a weird, they're undead. undead tribal mummies. Interesting. And then we do have a new hero, the Jaguar Warrior. Again, could be an interesting solo playthrough, or group him with like the Cursed, the Eternal Warrior, for a Valley of the Serpent Kings playthrough. All right, then we have the Mark II Scout tank. Huge enemy. Talks about he's got an arc, side arc, center points, rear arc, front arc. Interesting. Okay. And then we have the big man himself, the Serpent King on the Qatari Beast. 3x3 XXL. Pretty tough guy. All right, and then you've got your little pamphlet for the Jaguar Warrior, which includes his upgrade chart, which I won't spoil for us yet. And then Kickstarter Warlord Pledge Rules Collection. So it's going to go through, and we can take a look at this and just talk about the hero. So the Aztec Jaguar Warrior, the Furnace Wolves. Going to talk about all the different enemies, and then enemies about rivals, which would be the things like the the Conquistador group, the Old West posse, the Viking group, etc. And this has all the assembly guides for the different enemies, and specific rules for how the folks move. So obviously these all the different rules for the character, or for the different enemies. We've seen generally on flaps, but they put it into individual flaps. But these are all put together in one. Here's the assembly guide for the big tank monstrosity, when it takes up several pages. So that will be a project to put together. Will be cool though. Not something I'm going to have done right away. That's partially why I'm going to try to stick to just doing, for the most part, the basics. All right. Again, so that is BAKS2, and again, a lot of sprues of figures, which I won't show unless there's a bunch of comments asking me to show, the actual sprues, and then I'll do a separate video for that. All right, so let us move on to some of the smaller ones. So next, certainly not least here, is the Thunderforge Titan. This should be pretty quick, obviously, since it's just a single enemy. Just obviously. Okay, so it looks like there's two big sprues of parts. Interesting. It'd be interesting to know, like, if there's any sort of customizability on here, because I know obviously some Brimstone things have, like, alternate arms or heads or positioning of it. So it'd be interesting to know how much we can customize that out of the box. Obviously, the huge giant base for it. Okay, eruption tokens for it. All right, Thunderforge Titan. Again, the booklet, it talks about what its rules are, facing, the fire eruptions that it can do, assembly guide. Okay, painting guide for painting it. Okay, and then comes with a mission, Twilight of the Gods. All right, and then we've got the big card for it. It's only initiative 2, so pretty slow, but he's still a beast. For combat 6 damage, pretty nice. All right, and then cards for him. Titanic Devastation card. Ooh, interesting. I don't know what that means, but obviously this also has the threat card in it. And then he's got obviously some special cards that do some special things. All right, that is the Thunderforge Titan. All right, so next we have the two enemies. We've got the Serpents and Ravagers and the Feathered Serpents. So, Feathered Serpents. All right, have a couple sprues. Those wings are pretty cool. All right. All right, you've got your booklets talking about them and their instructions on how to put together. You've got their card for Feathered Serpents. Okay. Poison counters, because we know that everything in Jargano will poison you to death. Poison the crap out of you. All right, there's your threat card and more threat cards. All right, and then we have the Serpents and Ravagers. I'm going to wrap these together here. And they have the same sort of thing. A couple sprues, small sprues. They have Snapfire. So they have like an Overwatcher or something. And again, threat cards. This is a little bit heavier group of cards. They have obviously some rule cards in here too for them. Obviously dealing with the fact that they have guns, and so handling how they deal with guns. Ooh, initiative 6. They also go fast. Okay, and then, oops, and last but not least, here is the talking about them, a little bit of lore, talking about their threat cards, and then talks about Snapfire, and there's the small assembly guide. So obviously there's not a lot to them. Looks like head, gun, and body. And the gun has one of the arms on it, and then you've got the two wings, and there you go. And then you put it on the bases. All right, excellent. And then all we've got left to talk about are the two new expansion heroes. All right, so we have the Cursed Eternal and the Valkyrie. All right, heroes. So, again, not changing the formula. They got a page that talks about, you're rolling for your upgrades, and then your upgrade chart for them. You've got your hero card with all the special abilities and stuff. I'm not going to go over them. I think they've already been, they're already out elsewhere. Again, some lore about the Cursed Eternal. So, counts as a conquistador for abilities. So he has ambition and stuff like that. Okay, and then obviously the one sprue. Get some additional ambition counters, and then tokens to use. I'm assuming for for drawing randomly, etc. All right, and then he comes with cards, his abilities, and Cursed Eternal Fountain Water for the Fountain of Youth. All right. There you go. That was the Cursed Eternal. It's going to be pretty cool, pretty exciting. Again, I think for these two, I probably won't have them in their own together, but I may do a second series. And obviously this is far down the road, but I may do a second series, or a third series, fourth series, two different series. I'll do a couple I'll play through the standard bog, and then I'll do one with the Cursed Eternal and maybe the Jaguar Warrior, and then one with the Valkyrie, and then we'll see if there's a second hero. I think there's I don't know if there's a second hero to send with her, but she could also be a solo game, which would be kind of cool. Or I could try 2 Valkyries, right? Just do it that way. And the Valkyrie upgrade charts. Yep, and then so Valkyrie, and then the Valkyrie has just 1 sprue here, and then the Valkyrie comes with Odin's Champion tokens, and then Valkyrie Avenger and a Valkyrie Shield Maiden tokens. Okay. All right, and then Winged Helm, you know, a starting item, and then there's skill cards, and then obviously Valkyrie Avenger and Valkyrie Shield Maiden. So two different heroes there. So I theoretically could do, you know, a Valkyrie Avenger and a Valkyrie Shield Maiden, for example. Anyway, that's far down the road. Don't want to get ahead of myself too much, because I need to obviously get models put together and then start with a Gates of Valhalla and Valley of the Serpent Kings. Thanks for watching and sticking with this. It's good to be back into doing some stuff with Brimstone. You know, my life has been kind of all over the place the past year or two. But hopefully we're starting to settle down, being in the new house. I just need to find all my stuff. I'll start gluing stuff together, putting the models together, and try to find my camera, and then work out some sort of schedule for creating some new content. Very excited to get back into new Shadows of Brimstone stuff. So yeah, so everyone, let me know, you know, what you think. You can either post comments on the video, or you can let me know in the Facebook group for Shadows of Brimstone what you want me to do. Do you want me to just run through like 1 Gates of Valhalla and then go to Valley of the Serpent Kings once that gets to some sort of conclusion or some sort of point? Or do you want me to do, you know, simultaneous ones and just kind of alternate updating between the Valley of the Serpent Kings and the Gates of Valhalla? And then once though, you know, those will probably take a little while to do, unless I don't plan on going up to, you know, close to, you know, level 6, level 8. Then after that, we can look at doing a strike, you know, the Trederran strike team, potentially, or I said do like a Cursed Eternal and Jaguar Warrior run through, do Valkyrie run throughs or something like that, and take a look and see what those do. So anyway, let me know kind of what your preference is, and I'm happy to accommodate. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you all and everybody's kind comments. Glad to be here and be back, and I will talk to you later. Have fun gaming.